Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter time some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which the power have created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. For every creature of the power is good, and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving, for it is sanctified by the word of power and prayer. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Let's give it up for the Father. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. We got to make sure these Pharisees is good and mad. So, Sergeant, take this. We in there? All right. We're going to show the spread. All right. What we got over here, Mama? We got chicken wings, fried extra crispy. We got pastries. We got cupcakes, cornbread. All right. We got red beans and rice with smoked sausage. All right. We got them collard greens with a little bit of Texas mustard. All right. And we got some white rice. And then what we got over there? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The mac and cheese. The mac and cheese. All right. On the Quan, I heard you talking shit about me singing. I'm singing again, nigga. Look here. You got me in there? You got me? Y'all see the knife? Oh. Y'all gonna love this. Look. One for the money, two for the Pharisees. Look here. We got 2 hams with extra glaze for you niggas. All right? Now, I'm going to get the first cut. Did you get it out? I want you to bring it in closer. Closer. All right, we want that. We want to make sure we get some juice on the lens. Woo! Boy, look at that shit there. Man, look here, man. Y'all hating. Y'all know y'all want some of this. Y'all know y'all want some. I get first taste, y'all. Y'all see that there? All praises. It's sanctified. All praises. It's sanctified by the word of God and prayer. All right. All praises. All right. Everybody finna line up. Praise to Yahweh B'Shem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Any day that y'all want to celebrate Yahweh Shai Day, family, fuck these Pharisees, man. Let them talk all the shit they want. Y'all ain't coming to my house stopping shit.
All the praises and the honor goes to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, Recha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Honors to you, brethren. Honors to the elect scattered abroad. Shalom to you, few sisters. Peace to the elect. I want to touch on this video, which I knew this guy was going to come back and do a video. He said, wait till Christmas, and then he's going to do a video. So he's even making sacrifices on a unholy day, you know, which is a holiday, you know, after the holly branch, you know. He's making a sacrifice to Satan, you know, but what he's doing is he's trying to be an insult, what he's actually being an insult to the truth. This also go to 2 Chronicles, I believe it's 36:16, when he said they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and misused his prophets, right? So he's mocking the messengers that's bringing forth the work. And this is when Proverbs 1, you know, is when that time come, man, he's going to feel the heat, you know. But basically what I want to do is I want to go into a couple of scriptures, maybe some commentary on what he quoted Timothy 4:4. Let's go to 1 Timothy 4:4. It says, let me pull it up in a blue letter. I'm going to go to 4 and 3. For forbidding to marry, commanding to abstain from meats, which Yahweh have created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. Now we're going to go into that too in 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, right? What he's talking about. For every creature of Yahweh is good. It says every creature here of God is good, and nothing to be refused if it be received in thanksgiving. Okay? So I'll try to make this quick. When you go into the word creature, G29, G29:38, let's see what it says. G29:38, it just says thing found and created thing. But when you go on down to the Strong's Thayer lexicon, it says in the Vulgate, right? Created thing, Timothy 4:4. Contextually, the metaphorically transformed by divine power to the moral newness of the soul, spoken of true Christians as created anew by regenerations. Others take it here unrestrictedly, as James 1 and 18, where it says, of his own will begot he us with the word of truth, that he should be kind of first fruits of his creatures, right? So we can see the creatures that he's talking about is the Israelites. You can go in Ezekiel as well. When you look up these creatures, which just means creations, right? Now, the Lord created all things, and every creature, if you want to get technically, is good according to their creation and what they've been created for. So we're going to go into a little commentary, but first let's go to 1 Corinthians. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10. Where are we at? 1 Corinthians 10 and 25. And then we'll come back to that and see what it says. 1 Corinthians 10 and 25. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient, profitable. All things are lawful for me, but not all things edify not. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. Whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat, asking no question, for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. So what I did do is I want to go back to Timothy 4 and 4 to prove what was being said. 1 Timothy 4 and 4. We're going to go to 4 and 5. Okay. For it is sanctified by the word of Yahweh and prayer. So these were the examples showing you had Israelites after Yahushua died and became that sacrifice. You had a certain group of Israelites who believed in still making a sacrifice. You also had some that was accompanied by heathen, and they would still they would sacrifice food and they would eat it to get more power, right? Kind of like you see that Popeye character. Anybody remember the old school? And he ate that spinach. Now, when it says meats, it's not just talking about fleshly things, right? The meats would be sugar, corn, wheat, and various other things. Just like bread is just not flour. Flour is meat as well. Okay? When you go deeper into the understanding, it says, this is 1 Timothy 4 and verse 5. It says, if thou put thy brother in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Yahushua, nourished up in the words of faith and in good doctrine, whereunto thou hast attained. So again, this is talking about the creature of God being good, being nourished up in the faith. He was making an example from the shambles, because you had Israelites who felt like if they ate sacrificed foods, right, that they would that would bring them more health and more faith and more wealth. And Paul was saying, well, no, that's not profitable. That's not expedient, right? And then you had some that wasn't really for eating sacrificed food who understood what Paul was saying. So Paul had to say, well, for your conscience sake, if a brother comes up and he doesn't want it, right, and he sees the food as sacrifice, well, don't eat it before his conscience. For example, if a brother comes in a house and or you're out eating, and he says, well, the food was sacrificed. You know what I'm saying? I don't, meaning that it might have had something corruptible in it, you know, and you don't believe so. Well, you would say, okay, I'm not going to eat it for your conscience sake. You know what I'm saying? So, but then this was talking about, this was still lawful meats, right? This was still all lawful meats, but they considered it lawful as sacrificed or unsacrificed, right? Let's go on. Oh, it's a lot. I'm not going to read it all, okay? But it's a lot of commentary. It says, the butchers of Israel, through flesh of them is found in the hand of a stranger. It says, into these places the priests sent to be sold what was offered to their idols, which they could not dispense themselves, or thought not thyself not lawful to make use of. You know, for the Egyptians in Herodias says, used to cut off the heads of their beast and were sacrificed, and carried them into the market and to sell them to the Greeks. And if there were no buyers, they cast them into the river. Right? Let me go on down to here. Whatsoever sold in the shambles. This is the two following verses directed against overscrupulous. Some Christians were afraid to buy meat in the public market, lest it might have been offered in sacrifice to an idol. It says, contrary to meaning of the word, institutional inquiry about any of these pieces of meat exposed for sale, it says, as to whether it had been offered in sacrifice or not, the weaker Christian, that is to say, were afraid of the possibility, right, of their buying sacrificial meat and at the flesh market, because they had not yet risen to see that the flesh of the victims, when brought to the public mart, had lost its sacrificial character and had become ordinary meat. So you could kind of see what was going down, and Apostle Paul was trying to bring a balance, right? Because he knew, hey, it ain't about that anymore, because Yahushua became that sacrifice, right? But we were supposed to be sacrificing when we did make sacrifices to the Lord, and they would think that if you made sacrifices, that would bring more honor and power. This is why Paul said, present your own bodies as living sacrifices. But what did Apostle Paul mean in 1 Corinthians 10 and 27 when he said to eat whatever is set before you? Actually, no question for conscience sake. This passage needs to be understood in the context of Paul's topic, which is meat that had been offered to idols. Paul is suggesting that invited guests should lay aside the issues of graciously accepting food provided by their host, and to refrain from asking whether the food being served had been offered to an idol. He also said concerning the eating of things offered to idols, we know that an idol is nothing. This does not mean that one should ignore the fitness of food from the standpoint of health, right? For Paul, this is why when you get a lot of these foods, these processed foods, you get a lot of this garbage, a lot of that is prayed over, in fact, most foods. But the bottom line is, you eat healthily according to the measure that you can, It says, do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, whom ye have from God, it says here. And you are not of your own, for ye were bought at a price. Therefore I glorify God in your body and in your spirit. This is 1 Corinthians 6 and 19, 1 Corinthians 8 and 4. Right, so let me go there real quick. I'll try to make this quick. 1 Corinthians 8 and 4. Let me see, 27. It says, if any man, 1 Corinthians 10, 27, if any man believe not bid you to feast, and he disposed to go, whatsoever is set before ye eat, asking no question for conscience sake. Right? But if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that is shewed, right? And this is what they was going into, the weaker Christian. And for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. This is why when we see people come up and they first come into the truth, we'll tell them to abstain, don't do certain things. You know, if they want to learn, we don't first tell them, you know, take off your hat or grow your beard and then come back. These are the things that we had, you know, that you have to deal with, you know. Let's go to Amos 5:21. It says, I despise your feast days. I will not smell your solemn assemblies. So you had Jake like this, you know, cooking up, because all he's doing is making a sacrifice unto other gods, right? But what makes him worse, as an Israelite, supposedly, as an Israelite, he's making sacrifice unclean foods. So now somebody got to tell me, show me in the scriptures where Yahushua sat there and ate any unclean food. Now clearly, when he drowned the pigs, put the spirits in the pigs and drowned them, clearly he could have used any other animal. And then there's some Christians believe, well, the water is defiled too. Well, the water represents purity and cleaning. That's what you shower with. You know, that's why you drink water, so it can purify you and clean you. That's what water is, right? So somebody got to show me also, or ask the question, could he had used any other fish? I mean, let me say any other form of water creature, you know, seafood, to feed the multitude. Because you know, you feed the multitude, you got other animals and things come in with the fish, you got to throw out the bad stuff. So why didn't you just say all foods are clean and then you eat crabs? Right? This is what he mean by the foods are clean, because it's been purified through the blood of Yahushua. You know, ultimately. That's why you're actually purified. That's why you say your grace and you eat over it. But not unclean foods. It never said eat unclean foods. And this guy, he sacrificed unto idols. Right? Here in 2023, he's doing the same thing they did thousands of years ago. Which means Ecclesiastes 1:9, there is no new thing under the sun. He's doing the same damn thing. So let's go to 1 Corinthians 10:31. Therefore, whether therefore ye eat or ye drink or whatsoever you do, do it all in the glory of Yahweh. That's what he's saying that for, because this is why Apostle Paul was having problems with them other Israelites. Because they wasn't doing it. They was making sacrifices not in the glory of the Most High, but to their own belly. They was getting profitable. They was making profit off of it. That's why he said it's not expedient. Give none offense neither to the Jews nor to the Gentiles, Israelites, nor to the church of Yahweh. Our people have gotten away. And this guy's trying to bring us right back. But that won't happen to the elect. These in the last days. This man is already sick, right? This man already, he already has issues, right? Now, this is just one of the plagues. I believe he's on dialysis, so this is one of the plagues, many plagues that he could have gotten. You know, some people get sick like that for various other reasons. But high blood pressure, diabetes is a biggest cause of that, unless you have some other born with some defect or whatever. But for the most part, it's a poor diet that makes you sick. But then you have a situation where, when some people it's the kidneys, and some people it's the heart, and some people it's the vessels, in the brain, the strokes and everything else. But this man don't even consider. He sees all this happening to himself, and you can see food means more to him than his own health. And that's a hard addiction to kick, because the worst thing about food addiction, that's harder than any addiction on the planet, because you got to still eat. But then he's in a curse of himself, and now he's coming against the Lord. For all the brothers and sisters that may have this addiction or sickness, you pray. And, you pray continually to fight it. You know what I'm saying? But this guy, he's boasting. He's adding sin to sin in his wickedness. And he's making mockery of the truth. All right? That's why the Lord said, I'm going to laugh when your fear cometh, man. When your calamity come. This is the same type of guy, when he drops, that whole congregation going to break up, man. We seen this before. Where's Comfy Crew, man? We don't hear nothing about them. Maybe they still going, but I don't hear anything. I don't see them. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.